I was on vacation in Mexico with my family. We were in Playa del Carmen. We were at the resort. We were all at the pool, and it was a pretty busy day. We were all in the water just having some fun, talking. It was early. It was probably around 11 o'clock in the morning. I noticed somebody picked up a child between 1 and 2 years old, held her out of the water and gave her to somebody. Maybe he was 20 years old. The guy was holding her upside down. He looked like he was shaking her. In my mind, he didn't know what he was doing. He started just wandering away with the baby. I got out of the pool. I had to go all the way across the pool to catch up to him. We had started to cross this bridge. I asked, "Is she breathing?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Put her down. She needs CPR." And he just handed her to me. We were on a bridge crossing the pool. I flipped her over and I set her down and she wasn't breathing. She was blue. And I started CPR. I could only put about 3 fingers on her chest. She was too small for a whole palm. All my training over the last 26 years, constantly, every 2 years, CPR, every pediatrics, everything. Just kind of kicked in. I didn't even think about what to do. It just happened. At that point, I was hyper-focused. I could hear little things happening around me and people yelling at me and saying stuff. I just kept performing CPR on her chest, and I could see as I started CPR, her face changing, her chest changing, color coming back into her body. After a minute or so of doing it, I saw her arms start to lift up, and she gave out a big cough, and a bunch of water just started pouring out. So I flipped her on her side and just tried to encourage her to breathe and to cough, and she wasn't quite getting it yet. So I flipped her back and I started to continue CPR, and her arms went way up and they fell down, and she gave a big cough, and a whole bunch of water came out that time, and she let out a huge cry and scream and started breathing. So at that point, I just encouraged her to keep breathing, talking, and water kept slowly coming out. What to me felt like forever, my wife told me lasted about a minute and 30 seconds. The resort staff had started to show up, and when I got up and looked around, there was just so many people just surrounding me. The resort staff grabbed her, said, "We got an ambulance," and they put her in a cart, and then they just whisked her off. And that was actually the last I ever saw or heard from her. When I sat down to think afterwards, I said, did I even do it right? And then I thought, yeah, I did exactly how I was trained. Out of maybe the 5 times I've ever done CPR, this was the only time I've ever had a positive outcome, and it was amazing. My whole family was there, and they've never seen me do anything like that. And they came up to me, and they were saying stuff, and then it became even more overwhelming. My wife goes, "I want to post this." She wrote this really long thing for Facebook on her page. And I said, "There's no way you're posting that." She wrote it like a Harlequin romance novel. I go, "I will get destroyed at work." I don't feel like I deserve any of this. I'm just doing what I was supposed to do.